Woohoo! And we're live once again on another Tuesday. And I have a lovely guest in the house today, all the way coming to you from New York City. So we got New York City to Las Vegas, baby. You can't get more global than that. Well, at least in one country, we're global. So I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. But, anyways, Beth, thank you for being here today. Can you please just introduce yourself? Let people know who you are and what you do, and then we'll get stuck in on our topic.
Absolutely. I'm Beth Granger. I'm a trainer, consultant, and speaker on the topic of unleashing the power of LinkedIn, our favorite platform. I'm also recently an exactly what to say certified guide, and I can tell you more about that. And I love helping people become comfortable on the platform because we are, but a lot of people are nervous about it, apprehensive about it, and I love making it easy.
I love that. I love that. And it's very interesting. I was on a LinkedIn audio event. And by the way, you were one of the beta testers for LinkedIn audio, but I was on a LinkedIn audio event yesterday, and that was somebody in the audience came up and said, I don't know what to say. Like, I'm nervous. And it was like hard for, all of us who are very, very comfortable. Sometimes we don't really recognize that some people just like don't have any idea what to say, what not to say, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. And I remember when I saw that you were a certified guide, I was like, wow, what's that? It's interesting. And I actually went and read the book. So it's kind of cool. So I love that. I love that. So today, our topic is the power of strategic words for LinkedIn. And I love this because it's not just you can't just make noise. And I think that's the thing with LinkedIn, especially with the news feed. Sometimes it just feels like a very noisy platform. People are just saying all sorts of stuff. And I think maybe that's why people are intimidated. It's kind of like seeing traffic and it's like, well, how do I cross the street? There's so much traffic. How do I navigate this? So Beth, before you even became a certified guide, this was kind of your jam. This was your thing. So can you kind of tell us sort of what's been your LinkedIn journey, and then what was this transformation journey that you became a guide, and how is it helping you?
Yeah. So I've been working with people on their LinkedIn experience for over 12 years. And I always feel a little bit like a detective. So LinkedIn provides features and information, but I don't even think they know what to do with it necessarily. So I always like to figure out if there's a feature, if there's information, how to use it to help yourself, your network. And then in terms of the exactly what to say, I knew the author Phil M. Jones through National Speakers Association, and I see we have some people joining us that I know from there. Nice to see you all. And he wrote this book, and it's really powerful because it's just some phrases that seem very simple at first, and then when you dig down into them, the power that they have, it's really good. And I always looked at how to say things appropriately on LinkedIn, and sort of a key takeaway for anybody who isn't sure, if you're wondering, should I say this thing? Should I do this thing on LinkedIn? Imagine you were in person and we were at an in-person trade event or networking event. Would you say that thing or would you do that thing? That's always a good, if you're not sure, ask yourself that question.
I love that tip. I love that tip. And actually, you make me think of my mother who's passed away. And my mother always used to say, don't ever say anything that you wouldn't want on the front page of the New York Times. I don't know why she chose the New York Times, but it was kind of those adages that actually make sense. So you just have to recognize anyone and everyone can see what you're saying, even in the comments. So that's probably the biggest thing that people are reading what I write in the comments. Yes, I can go to your profile and go to your activity feed and see exactly what you're saying. So I hope I don't freak anybody out with that, but it's true. You have to kind of think everywhere on LinkedIn is kind of like you've got to have your best foot, instead of your best foot forward, or your best words forward. So I thought that
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So one of the things, there was just a quote that really resonated for me in the book that I actually took the time to write down because I liked it. And it said, successful people have one thing in common. They know exactly what to say, how to say it, and how to make it count. And I thought, oh, that just really sums it all up. I love that. I love that quote.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us how you made the transformation from reading the book to, okay, this is it. I want to be a guide, because that's great.
Yeah. So it's a curated group of people that Phil has brought on and brought up the idea of becoming a guide. And he and I had a conversation about it. And at first I was a little, well, I have bright shiny object syndrome. Is this going to be a distraction? And we talked about how it really just fits so nicely with what I already do. And it just enables me to help people even more. And then I went through a training, and there's a growing community of guides, and it's been wonderful. So I've been able to do some purely exactly what to say events for clients. I've added some of this into what I already do with them. So it's been a wonderful journey.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, can I put you on the spot and ask you to just coach on one particular thing that I don't ever know what to say? So,
Sure.
when somebody views, you're great, you're a trooper. So, when somebody views my profile, and I can go and I look, and I'm on the free version, so I can only go back so far. I don't really know what to do with that. So I'm actually not doing anything with that. And I'm sure that this is a missed opportunity. So maybe that's something you could give me, and maybe some other people listening might like that tip too.
It's so funny that you asked me that, because I was having that conversation with Mark, who's joining us from South Carolina today. We were talking about that exact thing this morning. So yeah, we're all curious, right? We like to see who viewed our profile, but do we do anything with it? And I have two different approaches. One is, if a first connection, so that's someone you know, or at least you're connected with, looks at your profile, there's a reason. Now, do I say, why are you on my profile? No, of course not. And yes, they know that you can tell, but you don't want to be stalkery about it. What I like, because it could be not a big reason. Maybe they wanted to see how to spell your name. Maybe they were looking through your connections, but maybe it's something even bigger. So I like to reach back out and say something. These are the exact words I tend to use. Notice you stopped by my profile. How are you? So I'm not asking them why they did. It's just reaching out, observing that they had been there. And that allows them to say, oh, just click through, nothing important. Or it allows them to say, hey, I have a referral for you. And it shortens that time to that action or introduction.
I love that. I love that. And I know that we had this, and you probably don't remember, but I think something happened. I don't know. We're both Espresso Plus members in John Esperian's group. And I think I just checked on your profile for something. I don't really remember what it was even for. And you sent me a DM because we were already connected, but we hadn't really dialogued a lot. And you just said, oh, something very gentle like that. It wasn't off-putting. I didn't feel like you were like, what do you want? It was nothing like that. It was
Yeah.
very soft, very encouraging, and very gentle. So I said, oh, I just kind of wanted to learn a little bit more about you. And I think you extended an invite and said, well, why don't we get together for a virtual coffee? And I went, oh, I think that would be lovely, which we did. I got on your calendar. It was just to meet as colleagues. We met as colleagues. We started talking. And then we talked about, just kind of keeping in touch, and the idea of you coming on my show. So look at exactly, this is what happened with us. But if you had kind of been like, what do you want, Gillian? Do you want to hire me or something like that? I would have said, oh, like, I'm sorry, I was just kind of checking you out. I didn't really have an intention. But if you didn't respond, maybe I never would have gone any further. So I think
Yeah.
that's a great case study. So, okay, so you said there's two instances. So that was connections. What if we're not connected? What's the
Yeah.
next thing?
So that takes a little more work if you're not connected with somebody. I like to check out who that person is, look at their profile. If I don't think there's a reason I want to be connected or that I'm aware of, then I tend to ignore it. But what if
Okay.
there's somebody that for whatever reason I think, wow, I want to be connected with this person? Then it's a similar thing because you can just say what is and what is in a connection invite that you notice they stop by your profile. And I say something like, I'm always so curious how people found me or what made them stop by. And then sometimes I'll comment about something on their profile. Oh, I noticed we're both members of this group, or some common factor or something I find interesting. And more often than not, the person will accept that invitation, and then we have a conversation, get to know each other.
That's great. That's great. I love that. Those are great tips.
Thank you.
And do you, just to clarify, do you have premium? Like, can you go quite far back with how many people have seen your profile versus me on
Yeah.
the freebie
So
plan?
I have Sales Navigator, which gives you the same. I don't have premium. I have Sales Navigator because part of what I do is teach people to use it. So yes, I can see 90 days worth. But even with the free version, most people don't have more than a few people looking at them each day, unless you do some big thing or you're in the news or whatever it might be. So
Right. Okay, so this is a good strategy. So, okay, I'm going to kind of keep this in mind that maybe I need to make this part of my daily LinkedIn strategy of just kind of looking at, who's viewed my profile, and then the next step. Do you do anything with profile videos? Like, just, figuring out, who's viewed your profile video, or you just keep track of the stats, or do you just kind of, well, I guess we don't really know who viewed those profiles. So never mind. Sorry. Stupid question.
Well, I have to admit, when that first came out, when they called it cover story, I did look at the stats. I haven't looked at that in forever. So yeah.
Okay.
And I love
No,
how people are having conversations in the chat, because to me, that's what but also what LinkedIn is all about. It's all about starting conversations, joining conversations. And I love that.
And let's hop into those conversations. So that's a good tip. Okay, Tristan says, not long now, can't wait for this. And he was so sweet. He shared this to his profile. So he's a mensch. He's a great guy. Good to be here live with you both, Gillian Whitney and Beth Granger. Hello, Gillian and Beth. Hey. And you were recently on Clarine's LinkedIn Live, and I love how she's supporting us 50 plus creators. Yes, we admit it, we're 50 plus creators, but we're like a fine wine. We age with style and grace. I love it. Thank you for being here today, Clarine. Hello, Gillian and Beth from Toronto, my old stomping grounds. That's from Linda Sherwin. I used to live in Toronto, and I absolutely love it. Although I'm not loving the snow, so I'm happy to be back in Las Vegas because it keeps me warm. Annette Richmond, another fellow friend of ours. Can't miss this too. Two of my favorite people together. Thank you, Annette, for popping in. We enjoy it. I'm tuned in from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I bet you it is cold there. Eee! Okay, thank you, Clarine. Joining from Greenville, South Carolina. Is this the Mark you were talking about earlier?
Yes, Mark is also an Exactly What to Say certified guide. Yep.
Oh, wonderful. I love that. Great tip, Beth. I agree. Being in the comments is important though too, and everything you post shows your best side, hopefully. And that's true. And I noticed that, like, one of the things a lot of people have been talking about is one of the new features is the pinned comments, and a lot of people are pinning comments of other people. Like, it would be my post, but I'm not pinning my comment. I'm pinning the best comment. So if you kind of think of it, it's like we're getting little gold stars. So it makes us want to, like, leave an intelligent comment because somebody might pin it, and then you're being featured. So that's a good one. Beth, for just a second, probably another really good case study about what to say and networking and maximizing LinkedIn would be when you connect with somebody, when you initially connect with somebody for the very first time.
Yeah.
So if they connect with you, do you kind of have a different strategy if they've reached out to you or you've reached out to them? Can you give us any tips on that?
Yeah. Yeah. So if someone's reaching out to me, as you know, sometimes they send a message, sometimes they don't. My first pass through incoming invites, there's some people, maybe I've actually met them, or for whatever reason I know who they are, and that's an immediate yes. There are some people, for whatever reason, gut feeling, an immediate no. And then there are all the people in between, and it makes me work to decide if I want to connect with them. So if they don't send a message, that's even harder. I have to go to their profile, see who they are. If they do send a message, I have a collection. I feel like it could be a comedy act of, how to put this, not good, bad connection invites. So when it's all about, and you can tell often this is automated and because you get the same exact message from somebody, from multiple people rather. But so when it says something like, I'm looking to grow my network of, insert what I do. Well, I don't care. That's all about you. If you can make it about the person and not about yourself. And yes, we all know people are looking to support each other in different ways or get business or whatever it might be. But if it's, I'm looking to grow my network of, or lately I've gotten somewhere they're actually selling in the connection invite. Ooh, not just the connect and pitch, which we all don't like, but so I have to do that work to vet the people in between, the not the immediate yeses, the immediate nos. And if I'm sending a connection invite to somebody, I rarely connect with someone I don't, or send one to somebody I don't know. If there's someone I don't know yet and I want to connect with them, okay, this is really very sneaky or strategic, depending how you look at it. Don't tell anybody. If they're active, and by active, I mean they share content, I will first engage with their content, because that way I'm joining a conversation. And then when I send a connection invite, I can reference that. I can say, thanks so much for getting back to me on that question I had about your post or whatever it might be. You've already had a conversation. And again, it's like being in person. You know, you talk to somebody first. So I don't randomly send cold invite requests.
No, I don't either. As a matter of fact, I do very, very little outbound growing my network. Most of it is inbound. And it's primarily if I have a conversation with somebody in the comments and I enjoy that conversation, I just don't want to lose them. I just go, this is a person I'm really enjoying talking with. So I would like to continue this conversation by being connected to them now. So to me, that just, and I've never had anybody go, oh no, I only just want to talk with you in the comments. They're always like, oh, you beat me to it. I was going to connect with you. And also too, lives like this are also, and LinkedIn audio events are also a great way to grow your network, because it's like-minded people coming into the same place and conversing and enjoying themselves. So it's good. Okay, we have, okay, curious about Beth's approach to strategy. Is it one size fits all, something universal from where we personalize further? Or I look forward to unfolding this topic. I always say to behave like you would in real life. And I see lots of digital communication experts who fail this basic communication. So, wow, that's a really interesting comment / question. So, Beth, what do you think of that?
So, I'm not exactly sure what Jenna, if I'm saying it right, meant about strategy. Is that content strategy? Is that connecting strategy? But no, it's not one size fits all. I mean, are there guidelines or things that I think apply to everyone? Sure. But really it depends on, why are you even using LinkedIn? Are you trying to grow your network? Are you trying to grow an audience? Are you trying to get a job or hire somebody? Are you trying to grow your business? So where you spend your time certainly will be different based on what your goals are.
Right. That's great. We have the lovely Jeff Young. Greetings, Gillian and Beth. What's the word strategic word that is? Namaste. And actually, namaste is a beautiful strategic word because it's like it represents Jeff with his little
Yes,
prayer
it
hands
does.
and helping, and it's, you know, everything that he's about. So it's great. And it's interesting, sometimes our words are a bit of a moniker. You know, for mine it's easy peasy. You know, you have your own personal hashtag as well. And what is yours again, Beth? What's your hashtag?
Oh, Beth Granger says, which that
Oh,
came
okay.
came from my Twitter handle back in the day when I first got on Twitter. Beth Granger wasn't available, which goes back to what I say. Even if you never think you're going to use a social media platform, claim your name or your handle there, just so nobody else can. But so I don't even know what made me pick that. It was a long time ago, and so since that's my
Perfect.
handle in a couple places, that's what I use for my
I
hashtag.
love it. And it's so perfect. It's so perfect for you. It's so perfect for you. I just absolutely love this. Seeing who views our profiles is a golden opportunity for
Yes.
entrepreneurs. That is absolutely yes, yes, yes. And it makes me realize that I just need to put that into my LinkedIn daily strategy. You know, there's just sometimes so many things. And, you know, it's kind of interesting, each one of us has our own strategy when we come, you know, we start LinkedIn for the day. Some
Yeah.
of us go straight to the news feed because we're like scrolling, looking for something to catch our eye. Others of us, I always start in the messages because I always want to kind of see what are those conversations that I'm having with the people I'm already connecting with. To me, they're the inner world. And then I go to my notifications because there could be people are mentioning me in posts. And so it's kind of the conversations before I even post. I do all that other stuff first. So I guess we all have stuff,
I
but
agree with that.
not
Yeah.
viewing these, not viewing these profiles though. Not been doing that. Gotta
And
do.
I don't post every day as well.
Now that's interesting. I'm the same. So can you sort of tell me a little bit about why you're not? Because so many people in your position would say, "Oh, I do it 5 times a day, every day."
So it's a combination of factors. You know, to me, posting just to post is making noise. I post when I have something to say or something to share. And also going back to the, even though I don't stress over the algorithm. I certainly don't. To me, it's more just if I have something to share, I'm going to share it. But posts seem to have a longer life than they used to. So if a post is
Mm.
still getting comments and people are engaging with me and each other, why do I want to do a new post that could say to LinkedIn, hey, look at this one now and ignore the other one? If a conversation is still happening, if I don't have to post, maybe I'm promoting an event like sharing that I was joining you today, but I like to let them take their lifespan.
I love that. Give them some room to breathe and
Yes.
continue to nurture them as opposed to, you know, what's the point of having, you know, 5 posts a day with like no comments as
Yeah.
opposed to one or two posts a week that like
Yes.
are drawing an incredible conversation. So I agree with you
Yeah.
100%. I love that. I love that. And I think when people get stressed about daily posting, and it's the same with videos. It's like some people get on these like 365-day challenge of videos, and I'm like, "Are you out of your mind? Like, who wants to do a video every day?" And the problem is, after about 5 days, they run out of stuff to say. So there's that exactly what to say thing again. That if you're doing videos and you don't know what to say in those videos, they're not attracting people. They're
You know
repelling
what's
people.
interesting about that? I would say for 99.9% of the people, absolutely, and me being one of them. I do have a friend who does a video every day and an email every day, and they're all amazing. He just has such good stuff to share. So, yeah, but for most of us, you don't need to force yourself to do something. When you have something worthwhile to share, that's when you share it. Hey,
Exactly.
I see Laurel has a question.
Yes. I'm always so curious about how people found me. is a great suggestion to spark conversation. I love that. I love that. What would you add to that, Beth?
Oh, that's what we want to do. We want to start a conversation or join a conversation. That's what LinkedIn's all about.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Thank you, Laurel. Laurel Carpenter, isn't it just? It is so good to be here in great company. I love when people are acknowledging everybody else. It would be great if we could see who takes the time to view our profile video. Yes, it really would, because that could spark some conversations, because we don't know when, you look at your count, and you only see your count, I think, on mobile, but you only see your count and it's like, it could be connections, it could be followers, it could be anything. It's kind of cool that people can message you from your profile video. So I think
Yes.
that's kind of good that they kind of did that after the cover story. So that was kind of a cool feature to do that. So yeah.
Yeah.
And it's great that the networking tab allows you to send a DM now too. Okay.
Yes.
I'm wondering if he's talking about the networking tab in the lives.
I think so. Yes. And
Okay.
also, have you
Yeah.
seen some people now have the ability to DM somebody directly in the comments?
Yes, I got it. I got it the other day.
Yeah.
It is exciting. Do you have it?
You know what? I have to look. I don't know if I saw it on someone else's or mine, or I know I've seen it, but I'm not sure where it was. Yeah.
And what's especially cool with that is that when you click the message and then you go, it immediately brings in that comment, so you don't have to type anything.
Yeah.
And it brings in the post. So it's a reference guide to, okay, why are we having this conversation? Because you could be just talking to people out of the blue and they're like, you're thinking,
Who are
oh,
you?
I'm carrying on the conversation from the post, but they're like, who are you and what are we
Yeah.
talking about? So to me, it's just like milestones. So yes, that's a very cool feature. And like Jeff says, I love this networking tab in the LinkedIn audios and the LinkedIn lives, that you can now go and get to know people and meet people through these lives. So it's a fabulous thing, especially if you're not a good networker like me. Just introverts of the world, we don't like networking. Okay, Tristan says, don't like that if you have to refresh, you lose the chat thread. Comments on LinkedIn need an update for when you get notifications too. Yeah, there's a lot to be said about that.
Hey, I have an idea for people. I have a challenge
Sure.
for people who are joining us. What do you think? So
I love a challenge.
People are always, not always, but some people, content just flows out of them naturally and they don't have a problem with it. Other people kind of wonder, oh, what should I say? What should I share? So one of the phrases from Exactly What to Say is, there are two types of people. And when you start something with that, immediately someone's mind says, ooh, which one am I? So I would challenge all of you who are joining us today or on replay to do a post and start with, there are two types of people, and then describe something in your world. Two types of people in your world, and see if it sparks a conversation.
Awesome. Do you want them to put your hashtag in, or,
no, they don't. Oh, well,
somehow
sure,
mention
sure,
you
tag
or
me
something?
in a comment or something, or if you feel like saying, Beth challenged me to do this, but sure.
Beth Granger challenge. I love it. I love it. I will do it. I will do it. I promise I will do it. I think that's a great thing, because again, you're right. And that's kind of like what that book has, is there's a lot. And hopefully, Beth, you will drop a link maybe afterwards in the
Yep.
comments of like,
Yep.
where to find the book, because it is a really good book. And I love that he calls them magic words, because magic words kind of like tap into our subconscious. And when you said there are two types of people, it immediately, you're having a dialogue as soon as you hear that, kind of going, oh, which one am I? What camp am I in? So
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. That's a great challenge. I like that. And I just want to acknowledge Christopher before we head out, because he had a comment. Greetings from metropolitan Detroit. So we love Christopher, and he is he's got the loveliest voice, and he's always involved with TEDx, and that's all about making your words meaningful. So very strategic and very in line with what we're talking about today. So thank you very much, Christopher. So Beth, we've come to the end of our 30 minutes. And it just goes so fast. So is there a takeaway you'd like to leave us with besides the challenge? I love the challenge, so I'm going to do that. So is there a takeaway that you would leave us with?
Two. Just a reminder that if you're ever wondering if you should say a certain thing or take a certain action on LinkedIn, imagine you were in person, and would you say that thing or do that thing? And the other thing is, conversations are where the power is. And there's an idea that also from Phil's work about that curiosity is the fuel for conversation. So whether you're networking or engaging with somebody in a DM or in a comment, if you can express curiosity, you'll find out more, you'll get the other person talking, and it'll start a conversation. So use that curiosity.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I love that. Well, Beth, thank you very much for being on the show today and sharing your expertise and your knowledge. I encourage everybody, if you're not already connected with Beth or following Beth, please hop on over to her profile now. And if you want to connect with her, you better choose your words wisely in that invite. Don't just send her the blank DM that just, connect, and then she's got to go hunting around. Be kind with your words and say why you'd like to connect. Say you saw it on this show. That would be good too. So thank you very much for being here today, and we will see everybody again next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye.